Welcome back. I'm glad that you found me. Some of you might be new, others remember me from Faith Stronger Than Cancer. I was on This Way Network. I stopped working from them, and I'm borrowing someone else's software to continue um, recording. I felt like my message was still important, and I still hope it helps somebody. Um, I didn't feel like it was fair to the network because I don't know what time I can commit or not commit. So it seemed better to sort of do it this way. And it was more fair to them, I think. So um, I probably won't look terribly polished, and because I don't know how to edit and such like that. Um, my dog feels the need to be included. She's gotten a little bit concerned about me. But like always, let's start in the book of Psalm 19:14. It's both scripture and a prayer. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Very much, as I've said before, hope that my words are only of benefit to other people. When you're saying things to other people that you don't even know, sometimes you worry, that it didn't come out right, or it might have swayed someone in the wrong direction, and you can't correct anything because you can't know them, so you can't go back to them. But like I've said before, the things that I share are my case. If you're fighting cancer also, it might not really match you, but it might. And every case is unique. They've got their similarities, but everybody's different. And your body's different, and your type of cancer is different. And but hopefully it's something that you can pull out of this that's, like an aha moment, or, ooh, so that's what maybe I can expect, or if you're steps ahead of me, feel free to put in the comments any pointers that you've got. And as I go through things, I'll try to share pointers that I've come across as I've been in this little journey. When I last recorded, my surgery was pending. It hadn't happened yet. It happened last Friday, so I'm a few days after. Yes, if it looks like I'm wearing men's button-up pajamas, it's because I am. It's like whatever's easy at this point. I'm not allowed to lift my arm above my head, and I had never really noticed before, but everything I own pulls on over my head, except I found these old pajamas that had been in the house since 1990 something. Timeless, aren't they? Gorgeous, right? I'm totally making a fashion statement. I know I am. It's going to be a trend. By the end of the day, people will be rushing out to find button-up pajamas. I just know it. But they're comfortable and they're like oversized, so that's good. So to let everyone know what happened, and those that are new, again, I'm still not sure what YouTube allows you to say and what they don't. I've got the type of cancer that you need a mammography for, and I had the type of surgery that you need a mammography for. And I also had lymph nodes removed, and that's how come I'm not supposed to lift my arm up. I'm really not supposed to use it all. Let me tell you, that is a hard thing to remember. You don't really realize how much you use both hands until you don't or can't. Then you realize it. But I got pathology today, and it seemed easier just to record it here and tell everyone to come look at this that knows me. And then I only have to go into the details the one time. And then if anyone's got questions, they can reach out to me. But here's what we got. I got pathology back today. And previously, I was on chemo for 4 treatments. I was on 2 different things at the same time that were both a type of chemo. This is when it would be really good to have Miracle Mom with me. She always remembered the name of both. But one was, I think, something like cytotoxin, and the other one sounded like a woman's name, andreomycin or something like that. Neither one of them might be related to cancer treatment. I don't know. That's how I roll. I admit it. And as I had said before, first they would do steroids and they would do anti-nausea medicine, and then they would go into the actual chemo itself. The andromycin, if I'm saying it right, or if that even is what it is. I used to call it red devil juice. It was bright red, and it was in large tubes, liquid in really large tubes. And they would connect it up to my port, which is way under there now. And it would go into the IV that was in my port, and they would just sort of slowly inject it into that IV. And the other one was a bag that just hung. So after 4 treatments of that, and the hair loss and the eyelash loss and the slight nausea, the exhaustion, and everything fun that went with it, it didn't work. It didn't do anything, apparently. My cancer looked at it square in the face and just laughed and laughed. And I think that if I remember right, this is, I should have probably checked, but I think that this is my 12th week off of chemo. And based on pathology, it grew a little bit during this time between the last measurement, which was during mammography, and now it grew a little bit. And it was still alive. I had all of the tissue removed. There's nothing left there that mammographies are used for. Again, I don't know what you can say and what you can't, but there is nothing left there. And they removed 6 lymph nodes. 1 or 2 had burst. I'm cloudy on that, but 4 of them were cancerous, and they were happily being cancerous, apparently. I want to say that when they were first checked, it was either 1 or 2 that they thought were cancerous at the time. So I guess that means it spread to others. I don't know. And as for what the next step is, I don't know. They're going to meet together on Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. And they'll meet tomorrow morning, and my case will be discussed. And the people in that meeting will be my oncologist, radiologist, 2 surgeons. I also had a plastic surgeon and a general surgeon that specializes in the tissue that got removed. It's almost impossible to say right and wrong words. I don't know. Please bear with me. He specializes in removing that type of tissue. So he removed the tissue, and then the plastic surgeon stepped in and sort of rearranged a few things and closed up. I opted out on any sort of implants or anything like that at this time. I instead chose what is called a bridge over. It leaves the doors open if that's what I choose to do later. Or if I choose to say, this is good enough, then we can just leave it at, this is good enough. As I'm talking, I can see this, they mark beforehand where cut lines go. And that's one of the first marks that he made, and it lines up with other marks. And he sort of grafts it off. It was the plastic surgeon that does that stage. And the other surgeon just follows where the marks are and leaves things the way that the plastic surgeon asked him to. And then the plastic surgeon steps in and does his thing. I was back home the next day. I spent the night. I had to, I arrived at about 6 a.m. and went to a room, waited a little while, and probably between 7:30 and 7:45, they took me back down to mammography where a wire was attached to the lymph node that burst to make sure that that one definitely got escorted out. And the wire was tied off to it. It's a marker, a metal marker was already on it that glows on the ultrasound is actually what they used. So it was tied off. And as far as that went, they did a local deadening of the area. A needle goes in, and then the needle is hollow. I guess it's something like a sewing needle sort of a thing in a way. And the wires then fed through that. And with that, the doctor was able to attach the wire to the lymph node and then pull back out the needle, leaving the wire dangling out. And then they secured that with tape. And all I felt really was pressure. I can't say it hurt. Well, I mean, it didn't feel good, but all I really felt was a pressure feeling, which was both the ultrasound device and the needle going in, which just made, like I said, that feeling of pressure. I keep sort of moving my arm. It's hard. It doesn't feel comfortable. I still have the plastic surgeon put a nerve block in, and it's semi-asleep and semi-awake. So it's like inside I have feeling again, but on the skin surface, it kind of feels sort of like if you've ever had anything orally done at the dentist office or whatever, how it's sort of alive, but it's not quite, so it just feels weird and awkward. That's where I am now, which is probably better than completely feeling it all the way around, I'm guessing. And then I went back to my room after that, and I already had started the IV the first point in. They had put the IV in right there and just sort of taped it down. I didn't have an IV bag or anything going yet. As soon as I got back to my room, they actually started the IV. Anesthesiologist came in and talked to me. Both of my surgeons came in and talked to me, sort of told me what to expect and how quick they thought it would last or not. And I think that the actual surgery might have lasted just under 2 hours. That noise was my dog flapping her ears, not me. I don't flap like that. It wasn't me. She's handy. I like that. She completely made me lose track of what I was saying, though. They told me what to expect, and I think it took like maybe an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. They expected recovery to go quicker. And I used to think that I was like, oh, I can take me some pain, man, because I'm all woman. And it turns out that I'm a sissy. Because I remember them calling my name to wake me up. And I woke up and I didn't say hello or anything else. I said, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And I think I must have been about to leave or something. I don't know. I do know that the nurse grabbed my right arm, which was already in the air, so I'm not quite sure what my game plan was. And she's like, your body's too tense. Your body's too tense. And I'm like, yeah, because it hurts. And I instantly was feeling nothing after that. I remember saying I was going to get sick, which I did. I kept my word on that one. And she had me back into Sleepy Town in no time. I was feeling no pain. And when I woke up, I was in a room and I was still basically sleeping. I was aware of things going on around me. But if you asked me to tell you what was going on, I don't know. I remember hearing my daughter saying that she was leaving, and I'm not sure what time it was or anything. I slept on until it must have been close to supper dinner time, because one of the nurses asked me if I wanted something to eat. I had been awake a good while before she asked me, and I didn't actually care for anything to eat, but I figured I probably ought to eat because I had all of that medicine in my system. It seemed like a smart thing to do. I don't know. So she ordered a club sandwich for me and I think cream of mushroom soup, which then they they brought the tray in. And remember, I'm not supposed to use my left hand. The tray was on my left side. And I'm like moving the bed up and down and nothing's quite getting me to that tray. Finally, I picked up my fork and harpooned my sandwich and kind of dropped it on my lap, sort of, and ate half of the sandwich, which actually was shockingly good for a harpoon sandwich. And that went pretty good. The soup was out of the question. I wasn't even going to try that because, again, my coordination was still a little bit iffy, and I assumed that the soup was hot. I wasn't going to find out for sure. And it was just left in a really peculiar position. They left the guard up on the bed, and the little table didn't swing over it. And I don't know, I was just having technical issues. I'm sure that if I wasn't still so groggy, I probably could have figured things out a little bit better, but I don't know, it wasn't going well. And like I said, I really wasn't actually hungry, so it's okay. Retrospectively, they did have, I discovered the next day, some cookies that actually looked good. I know, I did say that I've given up sweets, but I can't help it. They were chocolate chip cookies, and as far as a cookie goes, it looked homemade and it looked like it had potential to be good. I know. I should have ordered them. I know better now. I know for next time, right? And yeah, there will be a next time because the other item that requires mammographies is supposed to, based on this last information, it's supposed to go wherever the other one went. I don't know where they end up, but yeah, they'll be together someday. And but after that initial pain surge, I didn't require any more pain reliever of any kind, not Tylenol, not whatever they would have given me. They said it was narcotics. I don't know what it would have been. I declined all of it, and I didn't need it. I didn't hurt. Did I feel a little discomfort? I did, but it wasn't to the volume that I felt like I needed to either stop the pain or stay ahead of the pain or something like that. After I got discharged, I came home. It was about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes home. When I got home, I was feeling the drive. And I took something then. It was a prescription. I don't know what it is. And it worked. And I didn't take anything the next day. I haven't taken anything today. I'm trying not to take anything as much as they help. They also cause other things, so I try not to take anything at all. So I'm drinking a lot. They send you home. They sent me home with 2 drainage tubes. One for where the lymph nodes were removed and one for where the other tissue was removed. Thank goodness I'm not the one dealing with that. My daughter is, because even watching it, I'm like, whoa. Apparently, I'm a bit sissy. I didn't know it till now. I don't know what to tell you. It isn't actually that it's that gross, and it certainly doesn't hurt. It's just something about it that's just queasy invoking, in my opinion. So it wasn't. It's not bad. She has the grand privilege of, we came home with little cups, number 1 and number 2. And each little bulb is numbered 1 and 2. And then you pour into the corresponding little cup and you record the volume. She's also recording my vitals. They didn't tell us that we had to, though. So the child wants to be a vet, and apparently I'm her first horse or cow or something. Yes, I did just liken myself to one of those. I think it's my second time. The first time I said that we're herded up and a number's put in their ear, and then we get a shot in their derriere and herded back out. But that isn't how chemo went, to be honest with you. And that's not how surgery went either. The doctors were, honestly, it was sort of like someone that you already knew was doing the surgery. It's, to me, a kind of invasive surgery. And the way that they are both so personable and kind and that sort of thing made it easier. I saw the results fully for the first time today. I've heard people say that they kind of lamented what they were missing. And I can't say that I felt that. I can say that I was like, not quite what I was expecting. I have seen pictures of that type of surgery, post-surgery. And I think that I was expecting something more like that. Mine looks a little bit different. I'm sure, like I said, everyone is different. So you can't, it's not fair to yourself, I don't think, to really look at other things or other anything to gauge what you are or whatever. Just accept it as, well, maybe this is sort of a milestone that I can consider, sort of a thing. But don't use it as gospel or anything really I'm saying. I mean, just because I'm saying I woke up saying it hurts doesn't mean that you would. I know someone else that had reduction recently. She didn't mention waking up saying it hurts or anything like that. And it's not the same, but it is similar. So you can't really you just sort of accept each bit of information as that's just it. That's what happened with them. It may or may not necessarily happen with me. You will go home with drain tube or tubes, that's for certain, and you will have to pour them out, measure them, strip the lines. You're stripping the lines to make sure that there's no blood clots or anything like that in the line, because if you let it get stopped up, then it won't drain properly, and what should be draining outward will either be stuck in or draining someplace inward, which you don't want by any means. So that you will be coming home with. I'm supposed to stay on light duty for 6 weeks. I think I'm not supposed to drive for 2 weeks. And just the thought of going 6 weeks without vacuuming is going to cause some sort of a mental issue, I think. Yeah, it is like that. I normally don't get the kids, anyone, whatever, to vacuum. But probably someone is going to have to take on that chore. Maybe, since it's the dog that's kind of making the biggest mess. Yeah, maybe she should learn. That's what I'm thinking. Right now, she seems to have adopted a blanket, which she kind of sort of nibbles on, then kind of sort of wraps it around her and goes to sleep. I don't know what that's about, but if it makes her feel good, I say go for it. You know, like my oversized men's jammies are making me feel good. So I say go for it. Oh, one more thing. They do encourage foundation that is a bit compressive, and the compression feels good. While I showered and such, it didn't feel as good. And once the compression was back on, it felt better. So compression is good. And really, I think I've hit all of my big old highlights. Like and subscribe. I'll be on a whole new channel now. So to keep track of what's going on, like and subscribe so that you get notifications. Ask for all of the notifications, and then you can, when I post. And thank you for watching. Thank you for your interest. And I do hope that somehow it helps you. And if it doesn't help you, that you know someone that maybe it will help. And right now, it's all about just staying positive, because it's not going to get me down. It just isn't. It wasn't the news that I would have hoped to have heard, but it was news, and it's information, and it means that radiation is a definite thing, or chemo. They haven't decided, but stick with me and you'll know for sure what happens next. And again, it might not be the same way with you, and it might not. But until we meet again,